High frequencies, everybody. I'm getting ready to tap into the dream state, and I need you all to roll with me with this one and listen, because there's a lot of symbolism in it. A lot of different symbolism and feeling. I just woke up. It's like 5 in the morning, and I know I'm getting ready to go back to sleep, but I have to get this dream out before I go back to sleep and receive something else. And I know it's something going on cosmically. I had my client call me and tell to cancel. She doesn't feel good. 5 in the morning. I had somebody else text me and she just had a nightmare. All of this is happening at 5 in the morning after I wake up from this dream. So, yeah, something's going on cosmically, you all. That's all I can say. And just do what you need to do in order to prepare yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually for the physical manifestation in this reality, right? So, started out in the dream, I was at my parents' house. And we were going, and of course, in this reality, my mom transitioned last year. And it was my mother and my father. And we were going to pick up my mother's car. And I prepared to help go get the car. I was like, I'll go get it, something like that. And my mom was like, no, I changed plans. I took off. I took off, but she said, I'm going to go to work next week and we'll go get it that week after. And I was like, oh, okay, really? I was like, I thought we was going to get it now. Like, I was ready to go get it now. And she said, no. And so I was in my room and I kept hearing like this hissing sound like a snake. Now I'm laying in the bed and I'm hearing this hissing sound, like this snake sound. So I'm looking, I'm like, what's going on? So I moved from the bed to the floor. When I moved to the floor, I have a lot of things on the floor and a sheet over these things. It's like purses and shoes and stuff on the floor. And then I see it like come up through the sheet, the snake. And it was a skinny snake, and it's like I grabbed it, and then it was trying to attack me. And I took it, and I threw it, and it tried to come back, and then it was kind of like I stomped it, I had on some heels, and I stomped it or whatever, squished it, and then it died. But also, before it died, right before all that happened, it swirled around and it released like these spores and eggs on my floor and my carpet in my room. And I was like, what in the hell is this? So I go down, this is after, I killed the snake. I go down and I tell my daddy that, it was a snake in my room, and I killed it. But there's some stuff on the floor. I don't know what it is. So he came down there. He was like, oh, okay. He said, it'll be okay. It's cool. So he took something, I don't even know what it was, and sprinkled it over the spores and the eggs to kill it, because it was a lot of eggs. And he was like, but now that I'm thinking back, those eggs were a color. Oh, I want to say like a reddish color or something. I can't remember, but they had color to them. And then he sprinkled it so they wouldn't generate and it would die. Okay, so the dream ended up going zoom. I go to another dimension of this dream state of my mind, and I'm with my mother and we are floating on water. It's hard to describe, but just bear with me. Thinking about being on, like I'm looking at now, waterfall, but thinking about being like in a rainforest, really pretty, but it's like a highway. And so that's the best I can describe it. I'm trying to think of, okay. And so it's like a rainforest look to the area that we're in. And we are floating on water. It's like we're riding the water waves. We're riding the water waves. We didn't need a vehicle. We didn't need, anything. It's just our bodies riding the waterway. Now, it wasn't just us. It was other people as well that were doing this. That's where it gets interesting. And so we're riding the waterways, and it's like she's directing. It's kind of like she was directing the water waves, coasting me with her. Like, like you're on the passenger side of a car, and there's someone else that's driving. That's how it was. Like Mama was, riding the waves. I'm just driving. I'm in the car with her, so to speak, figuratively. But I was just, with her. But there were people behind us. There were people in front of us. And so we get to this point where it's like these big old suds, soap suds. And it was weird. And by the time we got to it, it was too late because we knew what would happen. We got on it, and the soap suds in this water that we were coasting takes you off course. It's like you get on the soap suds, and we hit the soap suds, and it slid us off, threw us over to the side. So it was like, oh, okay. So we knew. We got back on, and we was sitting there because we was like, oh, we were glad we were okay because there was these big boulder rocks over there to the side as well, where they slide, where the soap suds end up sliding you all the way off to the sides. These big boulder rocks over there. So we stay there for a minute, and we see the people who, coming after us do the same thing. And I see one man, excuse me, sorry. I see one man that he slides off the sud, and I'm looking at what happens to his body. So it's like he just slides. It's almost sliding across the floor because the wave water on this side was like little to no water, may come up to your ankle or something or less. So he's sliding across the ground in the little puddle of water, but his body is completely like it's like once you hit the suds, it knocks you out. Like he's just done. You have no more control. So you hit the suds, it shuts the body down. And you're completely just given away to whatever happens to you. Hopefully you don't, not get knocked out, or body or head gets knocked into a boulder or rock or anything, and you get knocked out. So if you don't get knocked out and anything happens, you of course can get back up and then go back along your journey. So I watch him as his body slides across, and he's just non-coherent, and then he doesn't get, he doesn't hit a boulder or rock and anything, and then he gets up. Then another lady that was behind us, it happens to her. So then we all get up, and this time we get on like this platform that helps us coast the water. It was almost like a thin layer of something. The best thing I would say, like a thin layer, even kind of like a magic carpet or something. Yeah, that's the best way I can describe what it was, but it was huge. It was almost like a huge oriental rug or something. um, by the size of that. Yeah, by the size of a huge living room rug. And I hop on one. Now, at this point, I don't recall my mother being with me anymore. So I hop on the rug. I'm in the middle. There's the girl, the lady that's in front of me, and the man was behind me. So we get it on these platforms, and we are back coasting the water. But this time, it's like we have more control. And now that we have more control, and I know that I do, and I'm ready to move, it almost becomes like a race. So I'm trying to get there before they do. And I don't know where there is. Now that I'm waking up, I'm like, I don't know where I was trying to get to, but I was trying to get there before they did. And it was almost like the man behind me was trying to get in front of me, but I wouldn't let him because my goal was to get in front of the lady. So I'm pushing through, and it's almost like we're not touching the water to move. It was using my mind to move my platform through the water. And I can't even describe, like, if you ever do any telepathic work, or you really intense telepathic work, you know what I'm talking about. That's what it felt like, just using the mind with all your intensity. And it was moving my platform. Then it got in front of her, and I was moving. I was like, okay, I'm good. I'm gonna make it there. So then I zoom. I'm out of there, right? So I'm out of there, and now I'm at this location. Don't recall what, but it felt like I was back at the house. I don't know whose house. I don't know if it was my house, my parents' house, my friend's house. I don't know. But I'm at the house. And it was me and a childhood friend of mine that was there. But it feels like it was set back. I felt, older. I'm not older. I felt younger. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. It did, not teenage, but like a little older than that, maybe early 20s. And so we're there, and there's this male there as well. Now, it felt like this man, he and I had been dating, or he liked me, he was interested in me, or I was interested in him. It was kind of like an exchange of feelings there. But my friend was also interested in him, but he didn't like her like he liked me, but she wanted him to. She was kind of like pushing herself to like want him like that. And so I could hear her talking to him in another room, and I was in the other room, and I was just like, I don't care. It is what it is. And in my mind, I was just like, she always liked the kind of guys that I like. And then they came back, and he had asked her, where she had been, like where she had been sleeping. Now, she had been sleeping in my bedroom. Now, this is now it goes back to the bedroom that I was sleeping in, where the snake from, the part one of the dream. And so it's similar to how I sleep here. Is, I sleep in all white. This is all white. And she was like, I've been over here, but I wasn't on her side. She called my name. She said I wasn't on her side because she has her picture of her boo up. And it was a picture of me and my boyfriend. And this is crazy because the picture that I had, and it was like a picture that you have like on your headboard. It was a picture of me. And in this reality, it's my ex from high school, which is crazy because we don't talk. But yesterday was his birthday, which is weird. So, okay. So it's a picture of us together on my headboard, and that's how I would sleep. And he saw it, But in the dream, I said, the guy saw the picture, and that's when he was like, oh, that's a good dude. Like that. He said, that's a good dude. And he said, he got some nice kinky hair too. Like that. And then I told him, I said, he said the same thing about you. Because like in a dream, I had told him about this guy, so it wouldn't be any confusion in the relationship that I'm cheating, because it wasn't like that in the dream. It was just like, I have him and I have him. And they were cool with it. And so he was like, yeah, he got some nice kinky hair. And I was like, yeah, he said the same thing about yours as well. So fast forward, we're in the car, I'm driving, and we're heading to a restaurant. And I was driving, but the other guy, the one I was telling you about that my friend was trying to get with, was in the back seat. And he was like, I'm taking you to dinner. He said, I'm paying for yours. And I was like, well, she's going to be there. He was like, it doesn't matter. He was like, I'm not paying for hers. He said, I'm paying for yours. It's you and me. I'm paying for yours. And I was like, okay. I was like, she going to get upset. She going to be mad that you're not going to pay for her dinner tonight. Da, 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 da. And he was like, whatever. And so he's like, she gonna have to take care of herself like he did. It was so crazy because it was like he was not bothered. He did not want her. He was like really pushing for me. And I was kind of like, whatever, And so, the dream goes to another section, part of it, leave that. And and this is acquaintance. She's not a friend in this realm. She's a real estate agent. I know her. We've talked a few times, met, but we're not friends. We don't talk on a regular basis, which is weird why she popped up in my dream. And so she was wanting to do something, go out of town or out of country. It's like I popped it at her house. And I don't know if it was remote viewing. It kind of felt like it was both remote viewing and first person in this part of the dream, because she wanted to travel somewhere, maybe out of the country or on vacation, not quite sure where. But she said she couldn't at the time because she wasn't done with her house. And she had been there 38 years. And so that specifically came up, that number, 38 years. And she had been there 38 years. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, okay. I said, you've been here for a long time. I said, you're very frugal. And she was like, no, I'm just about saving, and I got to do things for the house and da-da-da-da-da. So I was like, okay. And so, yes, that was the dreams, the series of different events that occurred in the dream last night. So again, if you're someone who deciphers dreams, if you're a dream walker, if you dream, if you've had any type of experiences in the dream state that you want to share with me, please feel free to connect with me here on YouTube or on Instagram. I am the Black Fit Witch on Instagram. And I hope everybody continues to dream so we can help share this with the collective, our frequencies.